Hey, folks, thanks for coming back. This show's kind of important for everybody out there. Shayna Feinman went missing in 2024, March 9th, and missing from the area of Seligman, Arizona. And just a little side note on it, there are probably 5 or 6 missing women up here in northern Arizona. And we've talked about Chelsea Grimm, and we talked about Shayna, and there's others that are missing. They're just gone. And we want, in Shayna's case, it's a little bit different. There were some investigative leads involved in it. And anyway, today we have Kara Feinman, Shayna's sister, on to talk about the case, to talk about the family, and to keep this in the forefront so nobody forgets about it.
Kara, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure no matter how many times you appear, things are difficult. And we appreciate your time, and hopefully these efforts of getting information out there will help you and the family and help law enforcement.
I hope so.
Yeah, Shayna, why don't you give us a little bit of the background as to how your sister ended up in Seligman and living up here?
Yeah, of course. So back in what it was, referencing some notes that I have for dates. So she had moved out to Sedona in April 2022, roughly.
Right.
She went out there. She had applied to start her master's in psychology. And so she was moving out there to start school and get her master's degree. And she had found a deep love for the Arizona deserts and it's kind of an environment you don't get everywhere. The deserts and the hot and the cold, depending on the season and all of that. And she went out there, I think 2016, and she loved the desert. She loved being under the stars. She loved sleeping under the stars. Her happy place was out in the wilderness, and it drew her back out there in 2022. And so she went out there with the plan to get her master's degree and help kids in need with outdoor wilderness therapies, which had been very beneficial for her. So she wanted to be able to pass on what she found value in to other people that needed that support. And so when she moved out there, she started working at a restaurant, and she normally was back of house, and she was given the opportunity to be a server. And she was normally kind of like a prepper, like salad prep or, chopping stuff, whatever the case was in the back. And so, it was a big opportunity, and she was super excited. She was, she was making good money. She was really loving it. And everything kind of took a turn when she met the person she started dating at that restaurant where she was working. He wasn't working there. He was a customer.
A customer. And then, and this person, who's, I believe, already identified by the police department and media.
Correct.
And what was his name?
Cabot Richards.
And where was he living at the time?
I'm not sure where he was living at the time, but from what I understood from my sisters, they met one time when she was serving, and he was there with his children, his 3 kids. And next thing you know, they started spending time together. Things took a downward spiral for her. She dropped out of school. She quit her job. And things didn't look up.
Right. Were they having relationship problems?
From what I understand and what I've read in messages and written documentation, they were in a relationship, but they were in an open relationship. Um, I don't think that they treated each other very well.
Yeah.
Um, she definitely tried to get some help a few times. She vocalized to people she cared about that she wanted to get out of that situation. But I don't think she felt like she was deserving of being loved.
Right.
And it drew her back in every time because no matter how far she got out of it, the fear of not being worthy of being loved or nobody will love you
Right.
kept bringing her back.
Yeah. And she ended up, from what I understand, moving to the west side of Seligman, out in the wilderness a little bit. Can you tell us about then and what was kind of going on?
Yeah, I can share as much as I know. So my sister she was living in an apartment, and Cabot had I don't know if it was a piece of property he owned, but a cabin of some sort where he spent time with his kids. My sister kind of moved into that space, and then Cabot and her moved into a new place, which is the property owner uh, whose land she went missing on.
Uh,
And that person
uh,
has also been identified by police and
right.
detectives and investigators, and that is William Del Cerro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I
she and Cabot. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, no, it's fine. I know that I've heard that name William Del Cerro a lot. I know that after she went missing, I know that two people were arrested. I don't know if it was her boyfriend or if it was. I know it was William Del Cerro got arrested,
Hmm.
but it was for stolen guns or something like that.
So it was William Del Cerro and Cabot Richards were arrested, and it was the result of searching the property for my sister. Uh,
Right.
there was illegal possession of firearms. There was stolen property,
Right.
um, and all of that led to the arrest of both of those parties.
Right.
And that there was charges, first degree murder charges. We started with second degree murder charges. Things changed to first degree murder charges, and then sometimes the legal system has really great timing. If it wasn't last New Year's Eve, it was the New Year's Eve before that they let me
Right.
know they were dropping the murder charges on both parties, um, which was really hard because nobody wants to hear that on a New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, that the legal system has no further anything to search
Yeah.
or to do to find any answers about what happened to my sister.
Is either
Um,
individual or both, be it your case, your sister's case, or another case, are they in jail or prison at the present?
Cabot Richards is not. He has served, I think it was about 6 months, 4 to 6 months, somewhere in there. And then he is out on probation, I believe, as far as I know. And William Valsero is still incarcerated. And I believe he's serving about a 5-year sentence. But again, neither of the charges that either of the parties have or have been charged with have anything to do with my sister. So there is nobody with charges in relation to my sister, her disappearance, her murder, anything about her whereabouts right now.
Yeah.
There's got to be someone out there that knows something,
Yeah.
Somebody definitely knows something.
and we'll give
Yeah.
information at the end of the program for sure where they can get in contact with, but there's someone out there that knows someone that has information.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
The town's too small to not know.
I
And,
yeah, I was
and,
out there.
yeah,
I was out there a couple. Well, what was it? We're in July now. I was out there back in May, and that was my first time really seeing the area and Route 66, probably around the area you guys mostly
right.
focus on. And it's a small area. Everybody knows everybody. I mean, I went to a
Yeah.
local bar and I just asked, "Hey, have you guys heard about anybody missing around these areas?" And Shayna was the second name that came out of the mouths of locals right there. So it's
Right.
not that her situation is not unknown.
Yeah.
People know what's happened. People know that she is missing and there's no answers. And the scarier
Yeah.
part is that there's no answers because somebody is right there living in that area
Right.
doing horrendous things to people. And I know my sister was out there a little bit, out Peach Springs, Seligman, not quite on that Route 66, but out,
Yeah.
further into the country a little further, or
I,
into the desert a
I,
little
th-
further. But
I think the area is actually called Hyde Park or something.
yeah,
It's between the two, south of Route 66, and I'd been back in there. We went to help a guy with he drove a Tesla back in there and got stuck.
oh, that
Yeah,
seems very silly.
yeah. Well, it is pretty rugged back in there, and there's a bunch of people that live back there off grid,
Yeah,
and it's the same up here and anywhere outside of the town itself. It's pretty rugged. There's some remote areas. There's people out there that only come into town maybe once a year,
yeah,
and
basic necessities.
yeah, and you know, um, there's been a lot of speculation and rumors flying around, and yeah, because did your sister have any interest in like different religions or things like that? Because there was one rumor that with Chelsea Grimm, the other gal that's missing up here, that
Hmm.
she was into getting into like Buddhism and stuff like that, wanting to go to
Cult type.
some retreat. But
Uh, I don't.
but
I don't. Sorry.
no, go
No, go
ahead,
ahead.
go ahead.
I don't think that was anything that she was exploring. She she was spiritual. I wouldn't say that Shayna was religious, but she was spiritual. Like she, connecting with the foundational elements of the land, the earth, wind, water, fire. Like those are, those kind of ways of being spiritual,
Yeah.
being grateful for the air we breathe, being grateful for the water we drink, being grateful for being able to use this earth and try and create a shelter with the trees around us.
Right,
She, she was, she was very deeply rooted in those kind of spiritualities. But she was not exploring other religions. I know that she had similar desires to similar things that I have, which is, I think, and I feel very strongly that a lot of the ways in this is in America, uh, they're created to divide us,
yeah,
take away a sense of community.
right,
Um, minimum wage doesn't go up, but the cost of living goes up. So then more
right,
people have to work in a household. So you get less of a sense of family, even in one household. And
right,
so the idea of community is like I mean, I don't even know all my neighbors.
right,
Like that's the sense of community is completely gone for some of us. And
right,
part of going back into like being closer to nature for my sister was being able to build that like-minded um idea with people that also value those things. Less screens, less electronics, less all of that, and more being one with everything around us. But my sister would have never just like wandered off and explored a retreat or a different experience like that without communication. I mean, I have voicemails from her where she's
Yeah.
saying, "Hey, Kara, I just wanted to let you know, like she was an avid camper, an avid hiker."
Right.
And I have voicemails from her saying, "Hey, I'm going up into the mountains. I'm going hiking. I'm going camping for a week. I'm going to be out of voice. I'm going to be out of phone range. I'll call you in a week when I get back." Um,
Did you
and
have anything like that before she went missing?
no, I have nothing
Okay.
like that. And I can tell you certainly that she didn't plan on not coming back.
Right.
There are, there is, there
Signs that were left
is,
behind.
yeah,
She
there
was
was
coming.
some hard facts about her planning on being back to attend appointments and things that Tuesday.
Right.
She was never seen from or heard from after that Friday, and on Tuesday she had appointments and plans to be there and confirmations that she was going
Right.
to be in those places. She never went places without her dog being taken care of and without her car being taken care of.
Right.
That car was in my name. She knew better. She knew
Yeah.
better than to leave it somewhere without me or my dad knowing what was going on.
Yeah.
And that dog was her lifesaver.
Right.
She was
And
responsible.
yeah, like even in her least responsible moments, because we all have them sometimes.
Yeah, we're
That
human.
dog, she would feed that dog 100 times before she would have fed herself.
Yeah.
If there was space for one of them in a shelter during a storm, it would have been the dog. It would have been stormy under that shelter. She would have been
What
shielding him from the lightning, and I would put $1,000. I'd put my life on it.
did she ever mention going to a like an outdoor concert venue somewhere around here?
Nope, not at all. I know that there was some odd things that came into play where somebody came out of the woodwork, I believe, stating that there was a music venue over there somewhere,
Yeah.
kind of out there, which I have to say I feel like is a very odd thing to come out when it did, because years after my sister goes missing, this comes into play. But this is, I mean, her case has not been under the radar this whole time. I have been out here screaming to the media. I have been out here blasting it on the internet. I have been out here making sure that this is not being forgotten. And the fact that somebody shows up years later, multiple years after she's been missing, and says that I don't know,
Yeah.
whatever about this concert venue out in the middle of nowhere,
Yeah.
is a wild rock to throw in the middle of a situation when there's somebody's missing and you come out now.
Were they
Yeah.
able to identify that individual that gave that information? Because sometimes
uh
people like that will throw out some information because maybe internal guilt, or they want to maybe provide closure to a
The-
family, so they point you in a direction without giving themselves up.
yeah. Or
I
misdirection. They're giving giving law enforcement a little
Yeah,
misdirection.
or misdirection even.
Tell them it happened over here when they're actually should be looking over there. And
I I feel like that's what it is, honestly, because it's none of it aligns with anything that I'd spoken to her about. None of it
right.
correlates with anything she shared with me or my dad or any of her close friends. I
Right.
have I've been talking to since the day I found out she went missing. Um, you know, I've reached out to every one of her friends that I can find. I've reached out to numerous people that out in the Seligman and the Hyde Park area. I've multiple random strangers that want to just keep me in the know in the
Right.
area. And obviously I've been in close communication with detectives and prosecutors, and I just none of that does not there's nothing that correlates that music venue or that person with anything.
Right. I,
But I
I
do have
know
to
that
say, no, go ahead.
I know that they said the night she went missing, I guess her cell phone and wallet or purse or something was at home. Was
So she was not a purse person.
Right.
She never had a purse, never a day in her life.
Wallet.
But so hang on, let me backtrack for a second.
Okay.
So she moved out to William Del Cerro's property with Cavett Richards, and there was an understanding that her and Cavett were going to be cleaning up that property. Um, Cleaning up whatever stuff has been accumulated, organizing, trying to straighten out the property a little bit. And what I'm understanding and what my sister had shared with me on numerous occasions, she was left alone with Cavett's children.
Right.
Cavett took my sister's car and left the area and the property.
Right.
I had spoken to my sister numerous times on the phone during these situations, and I mean, that's just a little crazy to me in itself. I also know that William Del Cerro, and Cavett Richards, they had a business agreement. So around the time my sister went missing, right before that, it became legal to bury people not in a coffin and bury them just in the ground and let them naturally rot and come back to the earth. And Cavett Richards and William Del Cerro had a business agreement to start a natural burial ground, which is extremely scary and extremely concerning, given
Right.
that that is something that they started. And I mean, there was no like contracts with the county or the town or the whatever that they had started to implement any of that. But the fact that there is a legal agreement, a business agreement between both parties that somebody is definitely not being transparent about, and that is what the business was naturally burying people, is terrifying.
Yeah.
And my sister, she went when she disappeared that day. So her car was parked, and it was a black Subaru Forester, 2016. So it wasn't like a camouflage color or something you're not going to see when you drive by
Right.
it. It was parked the road or the driveway, and she was parked just off of William Del Cerro's property, but right there. So
Right.
anybody coming in and out of that property, they're seeing her car. And if
Right.
anybody says they're not seeing it, then they shouldn't be driving a car because they need to see an eye doctor immediately.
Yeah.
And they're driving by her car. And it took, I want to say 8 days, 9 days, 10 days, was it? Before law enforcement was contacted. So every person coming in and out of that property was driving by her car.
What?
And
And you?
inside her car, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No. Go ahead.
And inside her car, when the law enforcement did get there, her car was unlocked. Sitting inside her car is her wallet, her passport, her ID, all of her credit cards, all there's
Was it
nothing
found in the
else.
car? I'm sorry to interrupt you. Was it
Go ahead, you're
found in the
fine.
car, if you know, through investigation in such a manner that she had left it there or someone had dumped the property in the car? Like she put it there in a concentrated effort, or was it just like, uh, get this out of the house, throw it in the car?
William Del Cerro told her that she had to get off his property. So he said he gave her permission, verbal permission, and I have that is from more than one party. William Del Cerro gave her verbal permission to park her car where it was parked. So he was fully aware it was there and gave her permission to park it there. I also have two accounts from two people on that the night before she went missing. Sorry. That she could not find her ID. So if she could not find her ID the night before she went missing, how the hell, excuse my language, how did it show up in that car unlocked with her wallet and her other form of ID, aka her passport? My sister has traveled out of this country. She's gone on adventures. She's gone and done cool things and been bolder than I could have ever been. She's been overseas. She's been to Portugal. She's been to Israel. She's traveled. She's done cool things. And I mean, she's never one that's been like, oh, I'm gonna sneak into a country or do some crazy whatever. She's always, hey, Dad, Dad, Kara, this is where the car is. Hey, Dad, Kara, this is where the dog is. This is who's
Yeah.
watching them. This is where this will be safe. And then we know what's happening. We know when she's expected back. She's never disappeared and not given word or notice about what's happening or what her plan is.
Keys
She
to the
also
car?
is. Go ahead.
Keys to the car? With the car or no?
So there were 2 sets of keys out there. Only one set, I believe, has been recovered. And I mailed her those keys myself. Um, so I know for a fact there's 2 sets of keys out there somewhere in Arizona. Uh, and only one has been recovered, which is crazy because she really wasn't living in that crazy of an area. And also, when they found her car, not only was it unlocked with all those items, but all her camping gear was inside. My sister was a survivalist, and she was a fighter. She, not a physical fighter like you bump into her and you're walking through someplace and she's gonna throw up her fists, but more like if you
Oh,
scrappy in the way that if you try to
yeah.
if you try to put your hands up and knock her out or something, she's gonna give her all. She's
She
not going down without a fight. But
she's a stand your ground type of gal.
There you
yeah,
go.
but she would back down. Like if somebody came at her, she would back down. If it was just her, she'd back down because she doesn't want to have the issue. She's
Right.
not a confrontational person. But if somebody came guns blazing, fists flying at her, she would be coming back. She would be fighting.
I have one more question at the moment.
Absolutely.
40-acre property, Mr. Del Cerro had. Was there a warrant? Was that property canvassed?
Yeah, Rich,
Okay.
the sheriff's office up here went out there, looked everywhere out
Yeah, I
there.
don't have all the intimate details.
Right, right. The one concern was he also had a house in town, and I don't know if you knew that as well, but he had a house in town, which was basically a condemned house that he was staying in as well.
He had
And
squatters rights.
pardon?
He had squatters rights. I'm pretty sure on that house because it was condemned. There was no ownership over the house.
Yeah.
But multiple
Yeah,
neighbors of that house, multiple neighbors have vocalized and shared very concerning things in relation to Will Del Cerro.
right,
Sex trafficking jokes that he made towards other people in the area, young girls. I've spoken to numerous neighbors, not only neighbors to the 40-acre parcel, but the place that he was residing in town, where they shared statements such as, I'm the neighbor people are scared of, I'll shoot people, or I've killed people, and making those statements as an intimidating threat upon first meeting people that are moving in.
right. Yeah, I since this has been going on, I've learned a lot with what's going on in Seligman. There's quite a few people over there that are just like him. And it's a scary, scary place. I know, like I mentioned, Chelsea Grimm, same kind of deal. Young gal, gone from the middle of nowhere. Um, uh, there's 2 other women that are missing. One from up the road here on 66. Her car was found at the side of the road. No sign of her.
Hmm.
And if you wondered why I was looking around, it's really raining up here. I kept hearing this noise and it sounded like a jet going over. But and then a gal missing from up in Westwood Ranch. And that music venue that I was talking about is actually in Westwood Ranch, which is east of Seligman. And it's north of Route 66.
Yeah, I
There
looked
is
it up.
Yeah, there is quite a lot of weird stuff that goes on up here. We got some kind of nudist colony pop in over here east of us. We got a
Do you know what the
Buddhist
name of that is?
uh, Kara something. It's on Google Earth.
I'll have to look it up because I haven't heard about that actually, which is kind of bizarre because I feel like I've really been out there, not out there, but I mean, I've really been
Yeah,
putting myself out there in so many ways to try to understand what's going on and what's happening in
yeah.
that
It's
area.
just there's some weird things because west of us they have a guy that wanted to put in a lavender farm, and then a little bit further past that is like another Buddhist retreat or
Hmm.
something like that. And it's just I don't know what's going on up here in the middle of nowhere. We get all this weird stuff. It's not like Mayberry, not even close. But
Yeah.
with Shayna, the story's just kind of strange because of William Del Cerro and that other guy. And if you look through the comments on the Facebook page, on my page for it, when I posted the promo for it for today,
Hmm.
it lists William Del Cerro, it lists some other guys, it lists some other guys. Some guy, that's that guy I told you about, Ben,
Hmm.
that he actually lives over there and has been catching a lot of slack for calling people out for doing shit. So
Oh,
anyway,
I feel like I know who Ben is then, actually, now that you say that.
yeah, but it's not his. He goes by Ben, but he's got a different name, first name.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel like also Chelsea Grim's situation was very different, and what who was the other one? Naniger um, was one of the other people that went missing right around the same time Shayna did. Uh, I can't remember, but the Naniger. I can't remember what her first name is, and I'm sorry. That's what I'm trying to flip through next to me. Um,
Yeah, there's like 5 or 6 in the
and
last couple of years.
when I was just up there in Seligman and off Route 66, right on Route 66, right there, when I walked into a couple of the little bar places that I went into, um, there was multiple people that said, "Nope, I carry. I don't leave my house without carrying because I don't trust the police to show up in a timely fashion
Yeah, they don't. They don't.
because
It's
they don't know what they're
like,
walking into."
yeah, I live right off of 66 too. This studio is right off of Route 66. And when you call the cops up here, it sometimes takes them 2 hours to get here. We had a lady a few years ago on this side, her adult son uh, waited, ambushed her in the house, and stabbed her multiple times, tried to kill her. And then he took off. It took the deputies well over an hour to get here. And that's been the big bitch that people have for Yavapai County Sheriff's Office is it's having people up here to respond to calls, especially calls like this. Because in a missing persons case or a person's crime case, time is of the essence.
Yep.
It's very important. But, Chelsea's case is different because there was no mention of any kind of guy that she was living with or with at the time. It was just a vehicle breakdown in the middle
Well,
of nowhere.
Chelsea's situation was different, but I mean, I looked into it. It was Amanda Nenegar. That's who I was thinking of. Amanda Nenegar was the other one. But Amanda Nenegar, again, very different. She was found within a week, naked under a tree. So I can only imagine terrible things happened to her. And I can only, my
Where
heart
was
goes out to
this
her
at?
family. Hmm?
Seligman area?
I believe it wasn't quite Seligman. It was in a neighboring area, but I mean, it was just the age of, they were just mm, in their 30s, white women,
Yeah,
Amanda, Chelsea, Shayna, and I looked into all of them.
right.
Amanda Nenegar, I think something terrible happened to her, and somebody that wanted to do terrible things to a woman found her, and that's what happened. And my heart goes out, and that's terrible. And Chelsea's situation, she was, I mean, she was going cross country by herself.
Right.
She was last seen, which her situation is very bizarre too, because she was seen by an officer right
Well,
before she.
that
Yeah,
was the night before or something. A Williams
yeah.
PD officer on body cam, but where her car was, and a lot of people didn't know this. There was a game and fish officer that drove up on her, sitting in her car with two flat tires and no gas, and stated something to the effect of, "Well, if you're going to walk out of here, that's the way to go to get back to
Wow.
Williams," and left her there. And
That's crazy.
me, when we were working, me and Rich, I would have told her this. I wouldn't have took no for an answer. I would have said,
Hop in the car. You're going.
get your
Yeah.
shit you want to take. We'll take it in, lock your car up. We're going to go into town. You can call somebody. We can get something going to get your car. Simple. You don't just leave people out in the middle of nowhere.
I mean, where are you going to walk to? You're going to walk for miles and hope you're following a real road. I mean, that's like where
Yeah,
my sister was. There was so many where she was off of Route 66. There was so many like dirt
right.
trails that people just make their own trails. So you don't even know
No,
what's really a road and what's really a piece of property or what somebody owns or what. You have no idea.
yeah. There's another interesting thing out by that way. Between Seligman itself and Hyde Park, there's some like checkerboard areas of state trust land, things like that. And there's been people out there hauling trash out to the middle of nowhere. And I found it interesting that you said William Del Cerro or Cabot was hired to clean up the property. And when I hear property cleanup, I know Rich thinks the same thing. It's putting a bunch of stuff in the truck, taking it to the dump.
Hauling it, hauling
Yeah.
it out.
Well, some of the guys out there that are into drugs, that are into crime, they don't take it to the dump. They take it and dump it out in the desert. There's piles of trash out there, just piles of it.
Sad.
And it added a new thing. It's making me think a little bit about this because what there was another question I was going to ask you. Her property, things that she had with her. Is there anything that did not get recovered, that did not get located beside the other car keys?
Um, well, I mean, her phone was recovered, but it was recovered months after she went missing. Uh, and based on the weather that happened in the time that my sister was missing, that phone should not have been functioning.
Right.
And it was just sitting happily, functioning just fine.
Are
Oh,
you able
wow.
to say where it was found and
I
was there
cannot give
anything?
those details,
Yep, that's
but
fine. Absolutely
I
understand.
can tell you that it was found in the opposite direction of where William Del Cerro and Cabot Richards claimed she was going.
Wow.
And that's very, very suspicious. And also the person that they claim that she was going to somebody's house. She had a friend that lived a couple parcels over, somebody that she trusted that would watch her dog, who I always heard wonderfully high. My sister always spoke very highly of this woman, of this person. And that person was not expecting my sister that night.
Hmm.
And that person had my sister's dog because that night before my sister drove into town um, to go get new tires put on her car because just the terrain out there is
Oh,
wild. You
yeah.
blow through tires so quick.
Yep, you do. The what do you know the tire shop where she got her tires at?
I could figure it out. I don't have the name of it off the top of my head, but I know that she
I
went.
I know that there's a tire shop that's also a towing company,
Mhm.
and That that makes sense a little bit.
Yeah, I know that I got it somewhere over here. She was, so the night before she went missing, she was staying at a hotel, and I don't want to put that hotel on blast,
No
but
problem.
No, I get it.
Now,
but
you're saying she was staying in a hotel. Is that because she was asked to leave Del Cerro's property? And
no, when she was asked to leave Del Cerro's property, he provided her a um like a fifth wheel empty trailer that was the inside. I mean, the outside was, a
a shelf.
regular fifth wheel trailer thing, but not like a camper. And the inside was just like, it looked like plywood. And I have
Yeah,
pictures and videos of it because somebody was staying on that property and walked me through the whole area, and I got to see everything.
Hmm.
And I mean, she was living on the floor in this plywood, literally like a hot box. I feel like that's the way I imagine it, because you're
yeah,
living in a trailer with no electricity in the
yeah.
Where
middle
was
of a desert.
where was Richards
Like,
at the time?
we, what?
Where was Richards at the time staying?
So Richards was staying in town in the house that he was squatting in with his wife. Um,
Interesting.
and Cavett was staying on the property where my sister was told she could not stay. And so she was staying out in that trailer off to the side. And there was another person that was staying there as well on the property. Cavett had put out some ads to try to find additional help to clean up the property. And my sister and Cavett drove out to California and picked this person up with their dogs and drove them back. And that person was there for about, I want to say, less than 2 months, less than 8 weeks before my sister went missing.
Hmm.
And that person's story has remained consistent. Um, but I mean, something doesn't add up. Something is
Right.
definitely not right, and somebody definitely knows more than what they're saying. And I mean, when I think about all the things that could have happened to her, I think about, okay, if she was running and she ran to a random neighbor and banged on a door, okay, people that live out in that area, there's some people that don't want to interact with people.
Right.
And people have you have the right to defend your property to a point, whatever. And so I mean, I can imagine something terrible happen like that. Do I think that that's what happened based on the lack of trail of where she went? No, I don't think that's what happened.
Yeah.
Um, the other option is one of the people that claims that she walked off into the woods towards her friend's house is not telling the truth and did something terrible. And then the other
And
thing that my mind's
one of those people are either the Cabot or William.
yes, I mean, I think the fact that they had a business agreement together, the fact that they had known each other for quite a while, um, I mean, the fact that neither of them really have the best rap sheet, and I'm not hating. I mean, I understand we all have done stupid things in our day, but I mean, if you're actively doing stupid things today, you're actively probably doing stupid things tomorrow.
Yep. Well, Rich, do you have a rap sheet? I don't have one. You know what I'm saying?
And
So,
well, and
what?
then the third thing that crossed my mind was, I mean, could she have been sex trafficked? But in the in the area she went missing, no sex trafficker is just wandering through an area where there's no real roads looking for a random girl to pick up to sex traffic at
Yeah,
night.
well,
That's crazy. That's literally, if you're a sex trafficker and if that's what you're doing, good. I don't want to say good for you, but then you're probably not trafficking anybody, and let's keep it that way.
yeah,
But I mean, that doesn't, none of those other options are viable, and none
Time,
of them make
right.
sense enough for me to
location.
wrap my
Yeah.
mind around.
Yeah.
Wow.
Has the sheriff's office come back and talked to you at all since, or kept you
I've
in the loop?
I've been in communication with them pretty frequently because when everything first happened, I put my personal phone number out there.
Okay. Is
Um,
that the phone number on the flyer I showed?
I was not fully. It might have been.
Here,
It's
I'll put
either
it
that
back
or it's
on
the
real quick, folks.
that is. Oh, I don't see the phone number on there.
It's
It's
at the
at the
bottom.
bottom. 518
Oh, that's
25.
me. Yeah, that's my
Okay.
number. So I do have the Yavapai Sheriff's County, the Yavapai Sheriff's Department's phone number. And I do have the silent witness phone number
Do
because
you have the detective's phone number?
I have their personal numbers myself. Yes.
Okay, good.
So every
Good.
time people have
Keep,
contacted me,
yeah,
every time
keep in
somebody's
contact with them. Keep
absolutely.
going because, you know, as a cop, Rich could say this, when you have a victim or victims' families call you, you tend to want to make a priority out of that particular case, you know, and I think this needs to be a little more in the news.
I
It's
agree.
funny because in both, and that's the missing women from up here. The other thing which surprises me is, you know, starting in September, going all the way through to January, we got a bunch of hunters that come up here hunting. And
That's why we put out we tried to get that bigger number for the reward because we
right,
wanted to say, hey, people are out there coyote hunting and all of that and trappers and all of this, and we want to be like, hey, if you see anything, this is your chance. Hit it big. Give us information.
yeah.
You find a bone, you're not sure? Call. You never know.
Do you have any uh, private investigators working this for you?
We do not right now, but I have been in close communication with numerous people that have, similar to yourselves, that are retired from law enforcement. Are private investigators, have been private investigators, or are heavily deep in legal systems, and been making sure that I'm doing my due diligence because I don't feel like I can rest. My
Yeah,
sister needs to be able to rest, and I know in my heart of hearts, she is not still breathing on this earth. And I mean, if she is, like, I feel like she needs to let go because whatever she's in right now, if she is alive, it's got to be terrible. It's got to be
right,
like nothing that she chose to be a part of.
Yeah,
right.
not willfully.
We had a deal here a few years ago. There was a gal that came up from the valley who was working in one of the restaurants, and she had been a victim of a guy down in the valley who uh, severely abused her, kept her in a kennel, and did all these things to her. He went to prison. He got out. She moved on with her life, got a new boyfriend, started working up here.
Oh my God,
He showed up at the restaurant,
that poor
and
woman.
yeah, and then it freaked her out so much, I guess. She attempted suicide.
Mm.
And, you know, shame on the parole officer, shame on
Shame
the
on the system.
system for
Yep.
failing this woman or for
Yep.
failing anybody. You know, you need the protections of what we have established, you know, being a civilized community. And when law enforcement fails, parole fails, the justice system fails, it's a big problem because in rural areas, it takes a while for cops to show up, you know? And
This whole thing took us so long to get to know that she was missing, which is crazy.
that comes from those two gentlemen, William Del Cerro and Cody.
Not
They
gentlemen.
did, or I mean,
Have it.
Cabot. They didn't report it right away, correct?
Correct. Cavett said he thought that she skipped town.
Mm.
With her
And
car
so
still there.
Yeah.
yeah, so none of it made sense. Supposedly when she walked off that night, she was looking for her phone and her keys. There's no confirmation when she left that property or walked out the door of that property that she had her phone. There's no
Mhm.
confirmation that she had her keys. So,
Well,
but she did pick up, supposedly there was a Ryobi charging pack, like for a drill, like a big briefcase size one,
right.
that they realized was missing after Shayna had disappeared. The next morning they realized it was missing. They assumed she had taken it. And
That's
again,
weird.
yeah, the story shows up. That's again no confirmation of the phone, no confirmation of the keys, but the Ryobi drill pack is gone the next day, and they're like, "Oh, she must have taken it." It shows back up a couple days later. Still no police reports made,
Mm.
and the Ryobi drill
Did it
pack
walk
has a
back on the
charge on it.
Wow.
It
Yeah.
has it has a charge on it, but her phone is off still. So nothing
Yeah.
makes sense. And I was told 3 different locations where the drill was found, the charging pack was found. So from the same person, smells. So that makes no sense. Somebody
Yeah.
is not being truthful, somebody's not being honest.
And the FBI is not involved in this case?
So the FBI is not currently involved. I believe that they might have they participated with some evidence, going through some evidence, but they're not uh, like formally on this case. There is
Right.
a close by Indian reservation, Native American reservation that we have yet to look at all. The prosecutor, we are on our second prosecutor on her case, on my sister's case. The current prosecutor has over 30 cases on their desk, which blows my mind as well because this should be a bigger priority than it is.
Yeah.
This shouldn't be given to somebody that has 30 cases that they're trying to manage. But I understand the legal system is you're it's spread
Yeah.
thin, but you
Yeah.
can't just have
Sad.
people going missing like this.
Yeah.
Well, if
And-
we had some, not that Curly and I have spoken in the past, but if we had some laws like some of the other countries in the way they deal with guilt and so forth, we probably wouldn't have a detective with 30 cases on the desk. We might only have 5. You
Well,
could
this is the
probably,
prosecutor, not the
well, that's what I
detectives.
meant, the prosecutor.
yeah.
I have to
Well,
say,
There wouldn't be
yeah, I
as
have
many
to say that.
cases if we would take care of some business on the way some cases are handled, and we just don't
Yeah,
as a society.
yeah.
yeah.
It's just kind of strange, you know. We have all these women up here missing,
And are they from
and
a
one of
certain area? Like, is there what's the circumference there? A mile, 2, 3, 4, 5, 50?
well,
I
it,
wish I
it's
could tell
about
you exactly.
it's about 20 miles from my house to Seligman, and over to Ash Fork, it's 8 miles. So we're talking about a 30-mile
30-mile
radius.
radius?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was the big thing when Chelsea
That's a
Grimm and
lot.
Amanda Nenneger went missing. My sister was technically went missing in Yavapai County. One of them went missing in Mohave County, and one of them went missing in Cocochino County. And so
Yeah.
that is, it took. I feel like it took the public putting them together to be like, oh my gosh, 3 different counties.
Yeah.
Something's happening.
But it's with a
Yeah.
certain radius too, right?
Yeah,
Maybe 3
it
different
expands
counties,
it.
but it's a certain
Yeah.
radius.
There's definitely Mojave County, Coconino County, and Yavapai County up here. And I don't know if they talk to each other. I have
Hopefully
no
they
idea.
are. Hopefully they are.
But
I don't think they talk to each other enough
Yeah.
based
I
on
think,
just what I've experienced.
yeah, maybe that's why the feds should be involved. They got involved with Nancy Guthrie down in,
Quite rapidly.
yeah, and
Well, that's what
yeah,
happens when somebody's famous or somebody
yeah,
has strings and connections. The average
right.
family doesn't get that kind of support from the media. The average family doesn't get that kind of support from the legal system and the justice system. We
No,
fall under the
Yeah.
radar unless we devote ourselves and we lose our minds. I have been at the end of my capacity on more than one occasion in this entire journey. And I mean, and I'm just trying to keep it in the eye of the public.
Yeah.
This
right.
isn't even fighting for justice. This is just making sure people are still aware that people are missing
Yeah,
and we have no idea what happened.
Yeah.
yeah.
That-
Well, we are running. I heard Rich's little alarm, but
well, I wish it wasn't, but
if somebody out there knows something, sees something, and a lot of times it doesn't take much. And
It
if
looks
you
out of
know
place.
something about it, let's bring answers to the family.
Yeah.
Let's hold those
Please.
accountable that are involved in this. Come forward. How do they get a hold of you?
If somebody has any information and wants to fill their wallet too, please call the Yavapai Silent Witness at 1-800-932-3232. Or if you just have something that you think could be beneficial to share with detectives about this case, please call the sheriff's office, the Yavapai Sheriff's Office, at 928-771-3260. And I mean, I'm on social media, I'm out there. You can Google this and you can find my personal number. And I mean, if you don't feel comfortable talking to detectives or the legal authorities, I mean, my number's out there too.
Yeah, the other thing real quick, if you want to remain anonymous and you have info and you're worried about retaliation and things, contact us at our podcast. Reach out to us. Reach out to Kara here. Talk to somebody, because imagine if this was your family member, your mom, your sister, your daughter. I'll tell you what, my daughters, I feel sorry for the people that would go and get involved in this. Oh, wait, we got a statement here real quick. Somebody posted something. Can you read it on the screen?
Nope, I don't see it on the screen.
It says YCSO failed big time with William Delicero. For years leading up to Shayna going missing, neighbors were calling in, reporting William's activities. They were all met with gaslighting by the deputies. He was living in a condemned home on top of everything else, condemned by the county. We need the feds here.
Yep.
That's what he said.
Yep.
And you know, sometimes it takes that. Sometimes it takes federal government agencies to come in, because obviously, look at Minnesota, look at all the fraud and the illegal immigration stuff going on. They had to bring ICE in.
Well, they
And
showed recently that
yeah,
they're able to get involved in missing cases, and they have a lot of resources to help. So, if you do it for one, you pretty much need to step up to the plate and get involved with a lot of them.
yep. Oh, and just a little side note, I am running for JP over in Seligman. Should I not win, which you never know, my promise is I'm going to put in for my private investigator's license for here in Arizona. And yeah. And there's going to be a little bit of pro bono work being done. So, and we'll get some shit solved. So,
I think
Prayer
out
of
of
prayers.
the most important thing here is that if you're not worried about my sister and her whereabouts and what happened to her, save the next woman. Save the
yeah.
next woman. Save
Oh,
your
yeah.
own kids. Save your wife. Save your neighbor.
Yep.
Figure out who did this so you can save the next person. Don't let this be an opportunity for them to learn from.
Yeah. And Ben, the guy that commented, I'll put you in touch with him directly when we get off the air.
Okay.
And yeah, I don't want this to be forgotten about. I don't want any of these missing women to be forgotten about. None of them. Chelsea or any of them. Shayna, we got to find what's going on. It's just terrible what's going on up here, and we need to hold people accountable for this. And we got to get it done. So,
Prayers to
great. Yeah. Thank you for
Okay.
coming on, and
Thank you guys for having me.
we'll keep this out there. And folks out there, if you live up here in this neighborhood, get involved. Go look, pay attention, give info. Even the smallest little thing can help. Rich, real quick, who do we have on next week?
Next week, July 19th, Sunday, we'll have the Sheriff of Maricopa County, Jerry Sheridan. We'll be getting the 18th month update. So we'll see how things are going and what he plans to continue on doing or change.
Yep. And just real quick, Maricopa County changed the little handling of missing people, didn't they, down there?
Yeah, they've been working on different things. So hopefully the cases that they're dealing with the Maricopa County Attorney's Office and the Sheriff's Office will be a little bit more successful.
And I think other counties need to learn from it.
We'll get some information out maybe from Sheriff Sheridan and see what he can give out to the folks.
All righty. Well, we're really sorry that you're going through this with your family.
God bless.
And we just got to keep it in the forefront. Keep it out there. Keep people noted, reading it, hanging flyers, do everything. Just make it out there. So anyway, hold
Sure.
tight while we do the little outro. And I'm going to put, folks, this is Shayna, 35 years old. Last seen March 9th, 2024. Between Peach Springs and Seligman in an area known as Hyde Park. There's a phone number there, 518-253-6358 for any information, or call Silent Witness at the Yavapai County Sheriff's Office, or call them directly, or call 911. This is an important case, as all missing people are. So keep it out there. Let's keep the pressure on.